everyone, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Kassandra, and I'm going to guide you through this elemental yoga practice, focusing on the element of earth. So this is very much a grounding flow that has to do with cultivating stability. And when we think about the element of earth, we're really thinking about nourishment, consistency, being steadfast, and of course, being very grounded and rooted. So a lot of these poses will have to do with the legs as well as our feet. So establishing a sense of balance and connection with the ground beneath us. This is also associated with the root muladhara chakra. So definitely tapping into poses that help to activate that space. And no props are required for this practice. I would say it's probably best suited for intermediate or just beginner to intermediate leveled students. And we're going to begin lying down on our backs in reclined butterfly pose. So you can lie down, soles of the feet together, knees falling apart. And maybe just bring your hands towards your low belly or let them rest by your sides. Shrug your shoulders away from your ears so there's room through your neck. And let yourself be fully supported. The element of earth also has to do with our ability to set concrete boundaries and our relation to the physical world, sense of safety, security, belonging. Take about 3 more deep belly breaths here. And we'll lift our knees back up. Feet flat to the floor. Bring your feet hip width distance apart, and you can relax your arms by your sides. We'll do variations of bridge pose, really strengthening through the feet, the back of the legs, and the glutes. So with your feet hip width distance apart, you're going to push down, curl tailbone up, and lift your seat as high as it'll go. From here, you're going to open up into that butterfly pose. So rolling to the outer ankle, keep the hips elevated as much as possible. Squeeze back into your bridge pose and lower with control all the way down. So we're going to do that same thing 4 more times. So squeeze and lift up to bridge, open into that elevated butterfly, hug back into bridge pose, exhale, lower down. 3 more, inhale, squeeze and lift up, open, elevated butterfly, bridge pose, and lower. Twice more. Inhale, lift and open. Squeeze and lower. Last one. Should feel the heat build up through the legs. Open the legs, turn out, turn back in, and slowly release. Let's pull our right knee in towards the chest, and you can extend that right leg straight. So depending on, the time of the day, if this is your first time kind of stretching everything out, might be a little bit tight through the hamstring. So feel free to keep a bit of a bend in that right leg. But I want you to really flex through your right foot, reach out through your heel, and then alternate by pointing through the toes. And just keep doing that a few more times, flexing and pointing. Try to keep head and shoulders on the mat so you're not curling up. And the next time you point, you can also straighten that left leg, and we're going to cross this over into a twist. So my right leg is going to stay straight, and it's going to cross all the way over the body towards the left, and I'm going to reach my right arm out to the side. And if it feels like too much to have the right leg straight, of course you can keep it bent. Just getting a big spinal rotation here and working through the IT band. And release, come all the way back to center. Feet flat on the floor, knees bent, and we'll switch sides. So grab a hold of your left knee and you can start to straighten that leg up any amount that is suitable for you right now. And just alternate flexing and pointing through that left foot, reaching out through the heel and then out through the toes. Notice if you're holding your breath. And the next time you point your left toes, you can also straighten your right leg, and we're going to cross over into a twist. So my left leg is going to drop over to the right, and my left arm is going to extend out to the side. Trying to keep your collarbones facing up, and trying to stack our left hip on top of the right one. Exhale, release, and we'll come all the way up, setting up for a downward facing dog. So you can roll to one side or rock up and down. Your hands can move just a little bit past your shoulders, shoulder width distance apart, tucking the toes under and lifting your hips up and back. Stretch out long in this downward facing dog. We're going to walk our hands towards the back of the mat, coming into our ragdoll fold. So your feet can go a little bit more towards the edges of the mat rather than being hip width distance apart. You can definitely bend your knees here, maybe holding on to the elbows as you sway a little side to side. And just to really strengthen through our legs and lower body a little bit more, we're going to alternate from ragdoll into malasana, our squat pose. So when you go into your squat, you can turn your heels in, toes out, bend into your knees, and drop the hips as low as they can go here. Take a big inhale and exhale back into that forward fold and release. A few more times. Inhale, squat. Exhale, straighten the legs and fold. 3 more. Twice more. Pushing the knees out. Exhale, straightening the legs. Relax your head. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. And walk it back, downward facing dog. You might need to readjust your stance a little bit with your legs and your feet. Let's reach our right leg up towards the sky. You can bend your knee and open up your hip if you'd like to stretch open a little bit more. Otherwise, you can keep your legs straight. And we're coming into our high lunge, Ashtha Chandrasana. Your foot steps to the top of the mat. Keep your feet hip width distance apart as you lift on up, reaching your arms up overhead, palms facing in towards one another. Really focusing on this grounding stability through the legs and through the pelvis. We're going to move from high lunge to warrior 2 a few times. So inhale to your high lunge. And as you exhale, bring that left arm back, ground the left heel down. Inhale, circle the arm, come back into your high lunge. Exhale, warrior 2. Twice more like this. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. Exhale, warrior 2. And let's step into tree pose, vrikshasana. So you can bring your hands at your heart if this is helpful with balance. We're going to stand on that right leg and bring the left foot somewhere along the inside of that leg, maybe at the thigh or at the calf level. Roll your shoulders back. Try to grow a little taller here without digging your toes into the floor. And you can also extend your arms up overhead. So really rooting down. Imagine your heel just really digging roots into the ground beneath you. And then letting this lengthen you out of your lower back as you stretch the arms up tall. Bring your hands back towards your heart, Anjali Mudra. And we'll release to mountain pose. So feet hip-width distance apart, relax your arms by your sides, palms shining forward. Working on balance a little bit more, you're gonna inhale, lift the heels up, come onto the balls of the feet, and exhale with control, set it back down. Twice more like this, inhale, lift up, exhale to lower. Last one, inhale, and exhale. Widen your feet again here to the edges of the mat. We're going to come into bear pose. It's similar to chair, but this time we're trying to get our chest parallel to the mat. So as you bend your knees and keep those thighs parallel, you're going to drop the chest down and then maybe extend your arms up overhead. If this is too much, just keep your arms by your sides. So one long line, really sinking the hips down. If you find it hard to breathe here, just means you've gone too far into the pose. Take one more big breath, really stretch the arms nice and tall. And exhale, release to fold on down. From here, a little bit of a challenge. You're going to lean onto your left leg and come up onto your left fingertips. You can grab a hold of your big right toe with your two peace fingers. And as we tilt and lean over to the left, see if you can lift that right foot and right leg off the mat, and then reach and kick it out to the side. So this is a flat back. Let's release. We'll go do the same thing to the other side. So find the foundation through your right leg and your right hand. Grab a hold of that big left toe with your left hand and go ahead and extend out, trying to keep the knees straight, the spine flat, kicking into an invisible wall here. And we release, downward facing dog, step it back. You might want to hold here, or you can take a flow if you'd like. Inhaling plank, lower down, Bhujangasana, cobra pose, roll your shoulders back, downward facing dog. Second side, left leg rises. If you did the bent knee variation on the first side, do that again here now. Otherwise, keep your legs straight. Into our high lunge. Left foot steps forward. Keep that back heel lifted off the mat as you lift up with your chest and with your arms. So this will be our inhale. And as we exhale, we find Virabhadrasana 2, your warrior 2. So right heel comes down, right hand reaches back. Inhale, back into your crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale forward. And exhale to open. One more here, inhale. And exhale. Bring your hands together at the heart. Look forward to help with balance. We're coming into our tree pose. So you're standing this time on your left leg and bringing that right foot wherever feels appropriate to you. Really think of pushing your supporting leg into that foot. So there's really tension through the midline. This will help you lift up a little bit taller. And keep trying to externally rotate through that right hip. So you're pressing the knee open, and maybe the arms extend up if you'd like. And draw your lower belly in. Stay really anchored. And bring your hands back in. Mountain pose, arms by your sides. We're going to lift the heels up 3 times again here. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, lower down with control. Twice more, up to demi-point. Heels come back down. Last one, inhale. Try not to wobble through your ankles. Keep hugging in. And release back down into your bear pose. So your feet go wide to the edges of the mat. Hips go back, chest moves forward. And your arms can go wherever feels the best to you right now. Move your shoulders down and away from your ears. Really cultivating this quality of being steadfast and grounded. Exhale to release and fold. We'll find that same leg lift. So this time, lean over to the right first. Grab a hold of your big left toe with those two peace fingers. And then kick and reach that leg out to the side. Try to maintain a flat back. I know this is a challenging pose. And we'll release, so we can do the same thing to the other side. Grab a hold of your big right toe this time and lift it up. And release, downward facing dog. Stretch out really long here, and we'll take our flow. Inhale, plank. You can either go all the way down or hover halfway. Cobra or your upward facing dog. And we meet downward dog. And go ahead and drop your knees down to the floor. So we're going to come into a variation of head to knee pose. I'll give you two options. You can either do the traditional variation, which has your right leg out in front of you and just bringing your left foot to the inside of the thigh. If you'd like to get a quad stretch at the same time, you can do a half hero pose. If this hurts your knee, please leave it out. Just do the traditional variation instead. Lifting up tall and start to hinge forward. I'm doing more of a yin style passive fold. So I'm allowing my spine to round and just kind of melting into it rather than pushing with a flat back, which is just a different style of a forward fold. So we're starting to slow down our practice. And let's walk our hands in, slowly lifting up through your chest. And then keeping the legs exactly as they are, we're going to start to recline back. So I'm going to lift my hips up, tuck the tailbone under, and then just start to walk my hands back. Maybe you stay up on the palms. You can also come down onto your forearm so that you get a nice big thigh stretch through that left leg. One more inhale here. And very slowly lift up. And we'll go do the same thing to the other side, starting with our head to knee pose. Left leg goes out in front, and either just bend and put the foot to the inside of the thigh, or you can tuck back so that both thigh bones are parallel and hip width distance apart. And folding in from here. So element of earth relates to nourishment and really taps into the connection we have and relationship we have with our physical bodies. So really taking great care of ourselves. And one more big breath in here. And push your hands into the floor to lift up. And we'll come into that half hero pose. So lift the pelvis up, tuck the tailbone under. Already just from doing this, you might be feeling quite a bit of a stretch through the quads and into the hip flexors. And then you can lower down as much as is appropriate to you. You really don't need to go too low to feel this one. Try not to let your knee lift off of the mat. Keep pressing it down. And let's rise on up, nice and slow. Uncross the legs, do any little movements that feel good here. So rather than doing Shavasana, which is how we would traditionally end our yoga practice together, we're going to do a seated meditation. And we're going to utilize Prithvi mudra, which is earth mudra. It's very simple. You're just going to bring your thumb and your ring fingers together to touch. And you can turn the palms to face up over the knees. So mudra is your seal, your hand gesture. And sitting comfortably, really imagine you can get that root, the tailbone anchored, really firmly connected and grounded to the earth beneath you. And from this rootedness, we can find a little bit more lift through the spine, reaching the crown of the head up, relaxing the shoulders down. Come to whatever breath rhythm is natural to you. And as we stay here for just a few minutes, you might choose to reflect on this element of earth, or maybe utilize some simple affirmations just to notice your connection with this element. Maybe I am grounded, I am steadfast, I am nourished. Whatever resonates with you. You can release Prithvi mudra and come into Anjali mudra, hands at the heart. This mudra of devotion, gratitude. And together, let's close by chanting Om one time. Inhale to chant, breathe in deeply. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing this elemental yoga practice with me. I would love to know what you thought of this sequence and how it felt for you in your body. I'll make sure to link to my full elemental playlist. I have a lot of other ones if you're curious to try the other ones in this series. Please subscribe, and hopefully we'll practice together very soon.